Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you. What are we bringing today? A little discussion about Sif. Character review time for the newest Asgardian. So there are so many tunes coming to the game, it has been borderline impossible to keep up with these things, at least with my schedule. So I'm getting around getting some of these final character reviews. I did do a preliminary one on Sif and Heimdall before some of their stats were known. So this is going to be the true character review for Sif. We're going to look at her abilities. We're going to look at the stats, how it compares to everyone else. I've got a full spreadsheet and rank them all. And we'll go over that. We'll look at her T4s, see how decent they are. And we'll, of course, I don't know if abilities obviously is something we always look at as well. So Asgardians are the new awesome PvP team. They are crushing pretty much everything, and a problem for a lot of people in War. There are some teams out there that might be able to win if you get lucky RNG, but for the most part, these guys are pretty much a huge pain in the butt to beat, especially in War, which is where most of us are facing them. So anyway, so let's look at how Sif stacks up with the Asgardians and with the rest of the characters Marvel Strike Force.
Bring me WolverThor!
Okay, so Sif's ability. Right now we're on MSF.gg. These guys have a way to really kind of look at the abilities in an easy fashion. I really like the website. They do a great job here. So definitely go check it out if you haven't. It is critical for me for finding information for the game. I find it very useful. So counter assist information, nothing special there. Fending Strike, her basic, attack primary target for 240% damage, gain 2 of deflects. Okay, so it's about the deflects right there, really. Percentage base is always about what their base damage is, which we'll go over in a little bit. Her special, which is the first turn ability she's got, is attack primary target for some damage, gain taunt, and 3 counter. So the counter, and this is without T4s, so that's pretty solid counter. The taunt is very nice to start getting people to attack her versus, you know, your Loki, your Hela. Even though, you know, you don't mind it with Thor's passive ability, but that's another video that I did not too long ago. So then her ultimate, Whirling Blades, looks like she gets this on turn 3. So it goes special, basic, alt. This is attack primary target for some damage. Rebound chain to 3 to 4 additional targets for a little bit less damage. Counterattack clearly breaks this chain. Unless Thor is an ally, then this attack cannot be counterattacked. Her passive, gain 25% block chance, gain 10% block amount, gain 10% block chance for each Asgardian ally, so essentially 40 more percent. So her block chance is 65% without any T4s. On spawn, gain defense up plus deflect 2 deflect. The defense up is an extra on top of Heimdall's, but that's fine. And then she's got the standard on turn heal for the Asgardians with 5% max health plus 5% of max health per non-minion Asgardian ally. So as far as her abilities go, all pretty solid. You know, the taunt and the counter here, it's going to be about her resist. Is it high? Can she keep that taunt? You know, she's really only using it for 1 turn, and then Loki's probably stealthing. So, you know, it's only going to pull a couple attacks. I wish it was a 2-turn taunt or maybe a, you know, an initial insta taunt type thing, but then they'd be too good. So I can't really say I'd want that. But the abilities, they're fine. You know, she's here to get some deflects, have some counters, and get you to attack her instead of the other team. So anyway, let's go check out the stats. Okay, for those who are not aware, I have a giant spreadsheet. I have all the stats from msf.gg. The baseline for the stats are level 70, 7 yellow stars, 0 red stars, T11, Stark Tech 1% because I can't do it at 0, and then passive level 4. Reason I make that the baseline is because I believe it's semi-attainable. It's not too difficult, you know, whereas red stars are unpredictable, RNG, you know, T12, T13, gold and gear, you know, same thing with anything over level 70. Gold, you could say 65, but I needed to go to 70 at some point in the near future. I'd like to go to 75, but right now the reality is none of us have enough gold to really do that with most tunes. So anyway, so you can see that, and it's probably small, I'll zoom in a second, but this is the row, these are the stats, and the rankings are next to them. So the overall average rank for Sif is 52 for the stats. That brings her in as the 43rd character, ranked character, or tied for 42nd character in the game. Pretty solid, for, what is it, 118, 120, well, 125, including some minions. So that's pretty good. She's in the definitely upper half of the game, so solid stats there. But as I always like to say is, what stats does she have that are actually, important? So let's zoom in here and see what we got. So first one, health, resistance are big for her. So health, 27. She comes with 85,000, almost 86,000 health. It's pretty good. Damage, you don't expect that to be very good. She's ranked in at 86. That's fine. No issue there. Armor, 15th. 5,000 armor. That's really, really good. So the damage is going to be decreased when you're hitting her. So hopefully she can stick around a little bit longer. Focus, you don't really care. It's at 114. Resistance at 16, 45, 22. So far, my initial thought in her stats are they've got all of the stats she needs right. They don't have, none of them are, too out of whack as far as like, why does she have high focus? That makes no sense. The stats you want her to have high are high. So that is good. So resistance at rank 22nd in the game at 1645. Pretty happy to see that. Speed, you want to make sure she goes pretty early with that taunt. So I think it's Loki, Hela, her, if I remember right. I can't remember what is Heimdall's right up here. Yeah, so that's Loki, Hela, and then Sif. So, Sif's speed at 108, so it's not too slow. She comes in at 48th in the game. And then, like I said, her her overall rank is at 52 as far as the average, or the average rank of her stats is 52, and she comes in at the 43rd ranked character in the game. And again, I actually think she could be ranked higher because of the stats that you care about. Could be up, like damage is 86. Okay, well, I don't care. It could be whatever, so take that out of the equation. It goes up higher. Focus, 114, goes up higher. So to me, like, her stock is worth better than 43 as far as a pure stat goes. So far in her abilities, the cooldowns are pretty short. You like the order they go in. So let's look at the T4s and see kind of how those rank up with everything. Okay, another spreadsheet. So this spreadsheet is ranking all of the T4s in the game, goes through every character, every ability, and I've ranked them. I've got general classifications for these rankings where it's great, good, okay, meh, crap, and total crap. Some of what I do to rank these is the damage, and so, base damage versus percentage, every tune is a little different. So I've got rankings below these where I just look at the pure damage increase, where if it's your base damage is 7,000 and it's a 20% increase or 120% increase, I have that percentage to show how much the T4 will actually increase the damage of just that ability. And then rank those in a purely 1 to, or 10,000 to 0 order so that I can see which ones are the best increases in the game. It does get a little difficult with adjacents, so I leave it as just the base damage, and then remember it's like, well, it could hit other people when I factor in the ranking. So anyway, we're talking about Sif here. So the first one, starting at the bottom here, is it looks like I've currently got Sif's abilities all, or at least her passive, alt, and basic, all at okay at the moment. The first one that comes up is her passive. It's an additional 10% to that block chance for a 35% increase, but remember there's an additional 40% for the Asgardians, assuming you've got 4 other Asgardians, so she's got a 75% chance to block, which is pretty good. That 10% though, I mean, from 65 to 75%, I'm kind of like, yeah, that's okay, which is why I've got it in this category. She's gonna block more than likely anyway. 10% more for a T4. There's an additional 5% block amount, so a total of 15%. Again, just okay. You can't do it too high, I get, but I'm gonna rank it accordingly. I just think it's okay. I don't think she's gonna be taking that many hits based on what I've seen. Again, she goes. She maybe takes a couple hits, while Thor or Heimdall and Thor go. But eventually, when it gets back to Loki, he's doing his ultimate, and everyone's stealth. So you really don't need to worry about how much she's blocking unless it's a, she's getting to her special a second time, which is, let's see, it's the first turn, second, third, fourth turn. So, which could happen, I suppose, but I can't see the T4s in that being the difference in it. So, next up is her ultimate. This increases the damage to the primary target by 40%, and it rebound changed to 4 to 5 additional targets, up from 3 to 4 targets. So, instead of 3 to 4 targets, it's 4 to 5 targets. And then an additional 40% damage for those rebound chains. So this one, like from 3 to 4 to 4 to 5, okay, that's nice, but there's very likely to be a counter in that. So I'm like, are you really going to gain that extra potential hit? So to me, it's really about the damage. This comes ranked in at 142. That's just, again, okay. It's nothing special. I'm not spending T4s on that. Her basic, 40% damage increase to the primary target for a total of 280%. Pure damage ranked at 141, so it's kind of like, okay, so those are essentially equal as far as damage goes. Technically, I'd rank the ultimate above the basic if I was to actually put numbers next to them, because there's the chance for, additional rebound chaining. The damage are essentially equal. So that's those three. So let's find the special. Where do we put the special at? Special I've got at good. So her special is 50% damage to primary. Looking at it here, I'm like, really? Is it really classified as good? Especially after looking at the other ones. I might drop this one lower, but that 10% brings the damage ranking up 30 whole points up to 110. So that's probably how it snuck into the good. I'd maybe leave this one at okay. Again, you will be getting this first turn, so that's another reason maybe to say it's good. I'm not putting any T4s in Sif. I don't think they're worth it. There's so many other opportunities to use T4s. It's a rare material in the game. If you're going to use them, I think you've got way better tunes, especially on the Asgardians. You've got tunes that you could use, way better than, what Sif's got. So, yeah, no T4s for Sif, but those are the rankings. So let's kind of wrap this thing up and see what we think about Sif. So Sif, the elf hunter, elf protector. I don't know if I can do this very well, but if I had fake elf ears, I got my Santa hat on, so maybe I'm missing it. I say that because her helmet makes her look like an elf, in my opinion. So it's kind of going with our Christmas theme. Sif. So Sif's critical for the Asgardians. They work fine without her. She's critical in the sense that she gives them a turn 2-ish taunt to keep some people off of the other tunes, mainly your Loki and Hela's. But it doesn't last long because Loki's going to ult shortly after that. So you can do without really building her up a lot, or even having her. If you're like, man, I don't have the resources because there's so many other characters in the game, that's fine. She's not. There are plenty other tunes to fill her spot. Use Hulk. You could probably use Merc Riot Guard, even though that's doubling up on the defense up again. If you've got a high Ravager Bruiser, use him. It's just like anybody who kind of has a taunt for a little bit. Okay, that's same general purpose. She's not giving a whole lot to other people. So you could do without her. Her stats are great as far as I'm concerned for being a tank. So I think it's a little unfortunate there where she's got these good stats for a tank, but the way the dynamic of the fight plays out, it's like, yeah, she's important, I guess, but it's really mainly just for the fine-tuning of a fight. She's not critical for the Asgardians to be amazing. So, and then the T4s, I'm not putting any T4s in her. I don't think they're worth it, unless you've just got tons of gold and tons of T4s to put on nothing else, or you just love the Asgardians, because the Asgardians are phenomenal. Phenomenal. They're Asgardians and X-Men. That's what it's about right now. Those guys, those two teams are just, they are the cream of the crop. So anyway, so I recommend, at least getting the Asgardians. If you can get Sif, you feel like blitzing 4, cool. I'm really appreciative of Foxnex doing the top 2,000, and then if you get below that, it's just 30 charge difference. So if you don't have time, don't worry about it. you still get a good amount of shards. You know, it's the only reason you're really going to care is if you really want to go hard for Black Bolt. And look, if you want to save time, then open some extra orbs with cores or something from Arena. I feel like people are grinding Blitz too hard and they're burning out like crazy. So, anyway, so that's it. That's all I got to say about Sif. Let me know your thoughts. You think she's better than what I'm saying, worse than what I'm saying? You think the T4s were ranked too high, too low? I think they're pretty good where they're at. But anyway, share this with your friends, your alliance mates. I always like to throw Grandma and Grandpa a bone. Hope you guys have a great holiday season. A Merry Christmas, celebrate Christmas. And we'll have some videos coming out for that week that we'll release just kind of on a cadence so that hopefully can get some Marvel Strike Force content from your friend WolverThor. And until then, have a fantastic day.